Okay, so I've turned down the volume of SynthVR, so hopefully you can hear me talk over this. So here we've got a bass line and a kick drum, just basic, and we're using Michael's idea of the paired sequences. So you have a utility sequencer telling this sequencer when it's going to play, essentially, by using this amp. And the same with this one, so these are kind of paired. So these are the actual notes, these are the utility. The problem we're having is, the problem I'm having, should I say, is that we're playing this sequence now. Boom, 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 boom. And then on that last note, it's jumping to the last note of this. See, now it's on this sequence, it's doing this. On the last note, it'll go. See, it's kind of not quite there. So I did just try deleting all these sequences. Just stop that because it's quite repetitive. I did just try deleting all of these sequences and remaking them. Now, the only thing I haven't done is I've got this reset sequencer up here as well, and I forgot to delete that on the last call round. So that is in sync though, isn't it? So if we turn that up now, that will now send a reset to, will it? Is that plugged in? Yeah. So this reset here, before I had a button going to it, which was this one. So it is a bit of a mess. Let's just see what's going on with this now. See, that resets out of sync now, isn't it? Yeah, that's out of sync. So, alright, what we'll do is we will remake all of these. So we'll get a sequencer. So it's a bit laborious, this, but hopefully, actually I should, oh no, what I need to do is, I don't know if I need to do this, but I think when you recreate them, let's take the clock. So this is the master clock, so that there should be no clock going to anything now, right? So if we do reset, and we do, where was the clock? Oh no, I've got myself confused already. I guess it was this one, right? It has to be that one. Yes, that will be the clock. Yes. So I'm just going to take all the wires that are in the existing setup. So now that's got nothing in it. We'll set the clock modifier up. We'll set this to what it was, which was this. Like so. So obviously these don't have to be like this. I'm just doing this because I'm just trying to see if I can get it working with just 2 sequences. But like Michael says in his video, you could do this with 8 different sequences or more if you came up with a way of chaining these together, I suppose. Right. One thing I have noticed is that when I move these sometimes, look, you see how this cable's disappeared now? I'll put it back in, it's back again. Interesting. Now we'll make another sequencer. I'm just going to try and do this together so I don't get lost in what I'm replacing. So this is going to be like this, this, this. It's going to vaguely try and copy the values I had on there. I don't know if gate length matters. I'm not sure it does in this case. The clock modifier is going to be down there for that one. And then we'll take the value out of that and the trigger out of that. Yep. Now we can delete this one because it's now copied. Put that in line. See, look, as I did that, the cables disappeared again, but they are still working, so it's not a major issue. Although that one just changed color. Interesting. What about this one? Look, that one did as well. Okay. Why not? Does it do it for all of them? Value. I thought it normally kept the color. Interesting. Okay. Create another one of these. Do a reset. Do a clock. I'm just kind of talking to myself now to keep sane, you know, in these trying times. Take the value out of that, put that in there. See, this is now, look, this is connected. I wonder if again, when we delete this one, let's just put that multiplier to where it should be. Yeah, I don't know why the gate length's up on that one, but it is. If I take this one and delete it, and then I move, look, I move it, the cable's disappeared again. But like I say, they are still there, because if I do that, but they're changing color when I, that's slightly annoying. Last time this happened, they didn't change color, so that's new. Okay, it doesn't matter, but it's It's trying to beat me up is what it's trying to do. It's like, we can't make it too easy for you. You need a challenge. So I'm going to copy these note values as well. Again, I don't need to do this to prove it works, but it's just to see. So I've got it vaguely as it was in the sequence. I was just trying to do like a 4 to the floor thing, because the main issue I'm having is this: it's not triggering the correct right note at the end of the sequence. So I was just trying to make it obvious that it was on the beat 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got this double step note at the end. So I can get rid of this one, I guess, now. Yeah. And this clock modifier is going to be like this. And look, yet again, it's deleted these cables. Not deleted them, but made them invisible. So in theory, yeah, you see, I have to replace them. But I'm pretty sure they will still work, regardless of me doing that. I can't remember, actually, if I save and reload, maybe it works as well. Possibly. But anyway, that as far as I can tell, everything is wired up. And the reason I'm doing this is because, as Michael suggested, if you rewire them all at the same time, make them, and then set the clock off, you will, technically, they should all be perfectly in sync. But I did try this before, and he is right, I think, but I was still having the same trouble. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make this as well at the same time, because I forgot to do this. And I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, but I suppose you could just have the trigger rather than the value, couldn't you? Yeah, I can't remember which one. I think either did the same thing, to be fair. Because technically, if you turn all of these off, you'll, sending a trigger or a fully up value should be the same thing, I think. But anyway, let's do it this way. And what I'm going to do is first put that to be the same value modifier multiplier as that one. And that one should be the same. Yeah, now I can get rid of this one. It's done it again, look. It's done the cables again. I'm pretty sure they still work, but I'm just going to remake them just because I want to be sure that it's all going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this reset down for now. It's the same as taking a cable out, really. In theory, this will now all be in sync when I put this clock back in. I think I am correct. It's the moment of truth. I think it's still going to do the note skip thing at the end, but let's just see. Okay. Oh, that's a nasty note, isn't it? I think on this one I actually had it. Let's change these up a bit. Getting confused now. Right. Makes it a bit easier to see the difference now. We're on this one. That's one. Oh. I reckon it's going to hit this note. Yeah. So what it's doing is it's playing this sequence now. Bum 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 bum. Now it's going to jump to that note, just for the last segment. So as you can see here, I'm just doing it this way, so we're just flip flopping between the two. Bum. And it's going to go higher. Look, it's going to do this note. Yeah. So it's doing the same, and this is without the reset in line at the moment. So the reset clock should be perfectly in sync with these guys here. So maybe if we bring in that reset, let's bring that in and see what happens with that. Okay. Is that doing anything? Did it do anything? I can't tell if that's resetting or not. On this bottom one. Still jumping up. Is that actually sending? Why is that fully up the whole time? What have you done here, you melon? Maybe it's the trigger. Okay. now I'm out of sync again. Because this reset clock. Do you have to reset yourself though? You have to reset the reset clock. Maybe. Will that not just screw everything up though? Maybe. Let's try that. No, because now it's just going to keep resetting on this line all the time, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know is the answer. You see that reset messes it up. I don't know if I'm doing this reset correctly, so you know, sorry, I haven't really explained this at all what I'm doing, but hopefully Michael can tell me if I'm doing it wrong. It's keeping a nice steady beat, to be fair. It's just playing that wrong note at the end. I mean, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It works. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me know what your genius idea is to fix this, because I feel like it's just the way it's working is when it's sending this kind of change message, which is effectively what these guys are doing. Because I'm using amps kind of like Tom did in his, and then we can see that they're doing this swap. So I think when this happens, it's skipping out a bit of the last sequence, I guess. But I'm not clever enough to understand why that's happening. But even when recreating all the sequences together and putting a new clock in, it seems to do it. So there's probably a better way of doing this sync. But maybe it's almost like you just need to delay that change by by a few milliseconds. But at the moment, I don't think. I mean, you could create a bunch of splits or something, but there's no sort of scientific, easy sort of fix for this with the modules we've got, I think. But I mean, if you've got one, then let us know, because that would be cool. But yeah, I almost wonder if you just delayed it right at the end. Maybe delay these messages slightly. But then if you delayed these messages, would you end up getting in a pickle with the rest of the sequence? Who knows? Yeah, apologies, it's a bit of a scatty video. Doesn't really explain how this is set up, but go and look at Michael's tutorial and Tom's, because they're both really good, and they're both different ways of doing the same thing. I guess the benefit of this one is it can be longer, but I think Tom reckons that he could do it even longer with the logic gates and stuff. But yeah,